there's probably going to be some resistance for.
Lexi does
Uh,
not work for package delivery.
well, you're working protection. Go that way.
Yes, I understand protection. The ambassador or the somebody of importance, not box.
Well, you'll be protecting the captain as she delivers the box.
Сука, блядь, Hey,
Is that a yes?
да.
I sure. Anyways, Girani, you could take on job 2 by yourself.
Sure.
Anyone else got an eye for software? Understood. I can probably. Well, maybe you'll come with us for job 4, and then, while you're working job 2, we can head on job 3 after we're done with that one. I don't expect it to take too long.
I do think I should keep an eye on my doctor and her little adventures, so
Yes.
it
So,
sounds like a decent plan to me.
you, Doc, Leaf, and uh, Lexi, you're heading to job 1 towards the construction site and meet this Destin guy. Just give him the package, make sure it's checked in, and then head on over to Docking Bay 43 to meet up with us after we're done getting information. Afterwards, Girani, you take, let's see, you take Lexi and just have her be back up while you're doing some data analysis, and we'll see what we can do about Big Benny. Is that like a multi-day job? Is that? I think he's out. Okay. Well, we have a plan.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Well, we'll get to that later. For now, I think that's a decent plan. Split the party 2 ways.
Okay, well, if we're gonna split up, here, you guys, take these with you, and I'm gonna hand over 5 Lazarus patches.
Getting fucking tired of this.
All right.
Yeah, her building door didn't work. Her building door key.
Hmm.
There are 2 building doors, so she got in the other one. I tried to call her 3 times. She never answered. Left her a message. She finally called me the second I got to the shop. So,
I see.
I'm not back yet, but I'm on my way back.
Gotcha. You decided to split the group 2 ways. Let's see. Evil, Jace, Leaf, and Lexi are going to do job 1, deliver the package, because we expect the package delivery to have some form of resistance. And Oz, Tex, and Girani are going to go investigate job 4 and get some information on that chip in the docking bay 43.
Okay, that works for me.
And I gave 5 Lazarus patches to group 2.
Yeah,
Just to be
I'll
safe.
take them. Well, I'll take them, and I'll give 1 to each of you. So, Tex and Girani, you have a Lazarus patch.
Oh, cool. That's the revive thing, right?
You slap it on, and you're, I don't know if you're auto-stabilized, but you're definitely...
You're not auto-stabilized, you just make a roll, and it can bring you up.
Okay.
Oh, neat.
Thank you.
I keep forgetting there's no
it
compendium. The
says-
compendium is in the sheet, which is weird.
So
Yep.
what it says is the user can make a int or heal or dex heal check against a difficulty of 6 to stabilize the subject.
Wow.
It is basically a healer's kit.
Cool.
All right. Give me 3.5 minutes.
Where the fuck did I leave it? Okay, that's better. So I did not have time to draw up a full station, but I will at least give you guys a rough, very blocky facsimile of said station.
Wow.
Yeah. I
You work
drew it
on that all
myself.
night. It shows.
Thanks.
Work on that all night.
Yep. Yep. Something like that. All right. So you guys are going job 1 and job 4.
For now.
All right.
Quick jobs that should be easy enough for our skill sets.
Isn't Kai's character doing that one?
Kai is going to come with us for data analysis on the ship, or just gathering information on the ship, because he can
Okay.
get into the systems, check the logs, and all that. Once he's done with that, depending on how long job 2 will take, he can do that, and then while we do job 3. So where is what?
That's what I'm working on right now. All right. Let's do some text. All right. So I know that's pretty basic, but it's going to be enough for what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and draw here for the other bit. Push all this to the back.
Whoa.
That's some
HD
HD
fire.
fire.
God
Yeah.
damn it, Tanaka.
It's about time.
Okay. So that is kind of what we're dealing with.
There haven't been nearly enough burning taverns in our game so far.
Yet.
This is true.
You guys always have the option.
They're all made
This
of
is also
like,
true.
I'd imagine they're all made of metal. It's gonna be hard for them to burn. Not impossible, just hard.
Oh, Lexi will find a way.
Probably.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
it's not really.
Time to
a
update
Texas
my
shtick.
personality traits. One second.
Remember,
Pyro.
Pyro Fire works really well.
Nothing like fire and microgravity.
All right. So you guys, your ship is located here, on the far right hand side. This is kind of where you're at. Main station hub area. There's no scale.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to weigh myself?
Well, I don't know. It's on you, man. You have to figure that out.
I've been playing way too much Truck Simulator.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So the MRC is Mining Refining Corporation. They're basically the group that almost has a monopoly, or has the major controlling business in essentially fuel. They are your Halliburton or Shell. They are kind of big, and they run most of the station, as this is a refueling station. There is the slums at the, I guess we'll call it, quote unquote, the south end of the station. And there are docks everywhere across the station. But you guys have traveled essentially out maybe about, let's see here, about yay far to the Sakura sort of branch area, just pretty close into the docks. So you haven't seen a huge amount of the station, but you've seen some of it. Some of you have been here longer, so you've seen more. Yeah. So let's see. We'll start. What group do we want to start with? Oh, I guess I should probably give you guys prices too. It's 200 credits for delivery of the package.
Wow.
Yep. It's not a whole lot.
It's still enough to buy something.
Yeah, like a place to sleep and eat.
200 each or 200
200 total.
altogether?
Everything's
Okay.
by contract. So when you guys open up, so I had a whole spiel for this, but I kind of
Forgot it.
No, I kind of got a call, so I kind of got fucked with that. So to start with, when you guys open up the data pad to start looking at jobs, there's like a little intranet site that you log into, and you notice that it has Captain Evil's name with a undefined ship name as well. It says security level 0. Some of you, if any of you guys have freelanced before, you would know that this is sort of like that beginning account. There are probably dozens more jobs, but they don't trust you enough yet. So you have access to the lowest on the totem pole, the ones that don't deal with any real company property or anything like that. So the first one, job 1 pays 200 credits. Let's see here. Job 2, data analyst is let's see, that's 500 credits. Where is it? Job 3 is actually pretty decent. That's 1100 credits. And job 4 actually has sort of a sliding scale. So it is 800 credits for info, plus if there's something interesting, it'll go up to about 1800 credits.
Define interesting.
That's for the corporation to define. they're basically saying if you find something of value, something that will help them out about said ship,
Mhm.
then it'll go up.
Gotcha. Does it
Nope.
have a story, or is it just
The report basically says this ship has been docked here for about a week.
Mhm.
We're worried that it might be a rival corporation or something along those lines, or something that might cause some problems at the station, instability. We want somebody to go over there, check it out, find out what's going on, and report back.
Is it manned?
They don't know. There's been no traffic that they've noticed, but they haven't been keeping an eye on it until pretty recently.
Hey, Leaf, you want to come with? This
Sure.
one? Cool.
Better than delivering the package for 200.
Lexi glares.
I'd love to see you two fight it out, but let's not damage anything before
The
choice is
universe.
All right. So we're starting with group job 1, I guess. Is that
taken.
what we
So,
decided? Okay.
Yeah, just
So
head down the
remind
list.
me who is on job 1. Sorry.
Evil Jason, Lexi.
I believe it's just Jason Lexi now.
No, Evil is
Oh, Evil. Sorry, I thought you said Leaf.
Yeah.
nope. Evil Jason, Lexi.
Okay.
Oh, we split it by gender. Neat.
That's racist.
Boys do
No,
this
wait.
one, the girls do that one. Fair, I guess.
Yeah, we don't want to catch cooties, especially whatever kind of super
Space
aggressive
cooties.
that Lexi has. Scariest cooties.
Johnny and Oswald. Okay. Got it. So we'll start with job 1. You already from flying in would know that the construction zone that they're speaking of is a new part to the station that they're trying to add on. It is sort of a maze of scaffolding, and you're told there is a control center for construction bots. These somewhat large um, robotic drones that is controlled somewhere out in the construction zone, and they need you to take a package. It's about the size of kind of a small to medium sized Amazon box, I guess, to that area. It's pretty straightforward. And you'll meet up with Greg out there, who runs the construction bots. But you will need a vac suit.
That's
as
a
you
good thing
know.
I didn't leave didn't go.
It's open to space.
Open the debris door, Leaf just goes.
Yeah.
Just gets ejected out and was never seen again.
Turns into a modified popsicle.
Does Lexi have a vac suit?
Yeah, she was already outside.
Oh yeah, duh. Okay, right.
I hope so. In which case, if not, Lexi's been dead for a minute.
She can breathe in space.
I hold breath really long time.
That's not the problem here.
Lexi will put on her vac suit and head on out and talk to the construction guy. Is that where they gotta get the package, right?
You guys go by the office, essentially the Sakura office, and pick it up.
Oh,
It's
okay.
maybe about a foot wide, about a foot long, about a foot and a half tall. It's chunky, but it's not crazy.
Lexi will stand next to the box at all times. They
Okay.
protect the box.
You notice it's heavy. Like whatever's inside is definitely made of some kind of metal. It's a heavy piece of something.
How heavy we're talking here?
Probably a good 30, 40 pounds.
Not even worth using his weight. Yeah.
Fair. All right. So, Evil, Jace, and Lexi head off towards the construction area where there is an airlock a little ways away. Meanwhile, our other team are given the directions to Docking Bay 43.
Hmm.
I will put that over here.
As we're walking, just kind of go over. All right, here's the deal. If it has people in it, text, and you're on stall, we'll not take a look around. Your Honor, give me all your spikes in case I find an exit entrance and you don't. Leaf, be on guard for anyone trying to stab us in the back.
Of course.
Sure. Well, I'm not gonna give you all my line shots just in case, but I hand him 3 line shots.
Don't I only need the one?
Well, I mean, depending on what you need access to, it could be, one for the station, and then one for the ship, and then one for, I don't know, something else that might be on the ship.
I don't think we'll need the station, but all right. See what I can do.
Actually, hand me the one for the station.
I'll hand you one, and then I'll just have two. Okay.
All right. You pop this. That's not what I wanted. Come back here, please.
No.
Is this the right one? I think so.
Because Bay 43 is over there, and the slums are over there.
That'll do. Okay. All right. So you guys all head out in your respective directions. You guys heading up into the more busy area of the main station. You can see several sort of corporate offices here and there, smaller than the Sakura one. It seems like the corporation you have sort of contracted yourself with has a pretty decent sized presence here on the station, if not crazy big. But as you get closer and closer to the what we'll call the north end of the station, you see more and more MRC advertisements. You even see some security forces seeming to be there at serving as quasi police within that area. There are also a fair few more of the trucker types. This being a refueling station, it would make sense, and Taxi would know that it's pretty common for a long haul freight delivery pilot would use these stations as stopovers. This area is sort of a truck stop mixed with like a mini mall, I guess, but cyberpunk and on a space station.
That sounds about right.
But kind of, I mean, it's all worn. It's all well worn and not super amazing quality. This station's probably been around for a while, and it is what it is. So you guys head out to Bay 43. As you get a little closer, you can see several civilian ships, including one that looks, well, those of you that have been out in space would recognize it as a courier ship. Pretty typical for every system. Courier ships run between individual sectors or systems to deliver news, mail, everything. This one seems to be sitting there, powered down. You would guess probably on a layover or something along those lines, or gathering data for its next jump. You're not sure, but you can tell by the scratch marks and blast marks on the floor. This is probably a bay used pretty well exclusively for these ships. And this one will probably take off relatively soon. You're at Bay 39. and slowly moving your way up towards Bay 43. And you're on this sort of scaffolding, that catwalk area almost. It's like more like just an overlook of all these not construction bays, docking bays as you go. And you can see a few other, sort of short haul freighters, very similar to the ship that you guys now possess. Eventually, you do come across one ship that looks like it's been there for a while. Plain. It looks like a similar class to your own. Sort of freighter, maybe a little smaller than yours. Definitely built more for larger bulk cargo in the center, but definitely more utilitarian. No markings. You can't see inside of the cockpit at all. Sort of tinted windows, which is pretty normal, especially if it's a ship that works near the sun, or whatever system star that it's near. So it's not altogether odd that would be the case. Yeah, you can see a ship up ahead in Bay 43. There's no security, nothing like that, but there's a whole bunch of cargo containers that have slowly encroached nearer to the ship. Not so much that it couldn't get out if it needed to, but just from the looks of it, the ship's been here for a while.
The crate's been moved recently, and is that a thing they're aware of? Did the station move those crates, or?
That's what it looks like. You can see that there are several, essentially forklifts, that drive around offloading and unloading cargo onto civilian ships and things like that. And even as you say that, you do see one sort of drop a container kind of technically into the docking bay, not too close to the ship, but they seem to be using it as like overflow, as the ship just hasn't left at all.
Gotcha.
Is it normal for like maintenance or cleaning crews to roam around places like this?
How do you mean?
Oh, no, I'm asking in character.
That depends on the level of services at the particular station, which is not typically found at a refueling place like that.
Well, here's one saving grace. Assuming that they've locked this place down tight, there's no way of the ship escaping us. Doubt they'll let the airlock head out if they got this cargo in here.
I want to take a look around. Are there any cameras that I can see?
There are a few security cameras around, yeah. There seems to be 3 pointed at the bay in general from the station. But you only see one camera on the underside of the ship itself, and it is not moving. It's sort of aimed directly at where the door is to actually access down below. You guys are up maybe 2 stories looking down on this ship. And there is a door, an access door, that you would normally go through to go into the bay. And the camera is aimed in that general direction. It's not moving or anything. You just notice that there is a camera. If it's on or not, you have no idea.
I will sneak 20 credits to Tex in case you need to grease some palms, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to find a spot that's a little out of the way that nobody can really see me from, and see if I can get access to the station database to see who's been in and out of this place. Well, at least this specific hangar.
Okay. So you can find a spot that's just a little ways off or whatever that's quiet, I guess. But are you just trying to access general stuff? Or are you trying to essentially hack into the station's docking logs? Because the docking logs are not typical. Like, You can tell if it'll tell you if a bay is occupied or not, in case what you're looking to do is move bays, but it's not going to tell you anything about the ship or anything like that.
That's why we're here.
Yep.
I'm going to attempt to get access to the bay logs.
You're actually trying to hack in and get the logs.
Yes. And
Okay.
with hacker level 1, shouldn't be
It's-
too bad of a problem.
It's not an easy hack. There's a decent security system here, so go ahead and roll me your hacking skill. And it'll be with intelligence. 11.
Mhm.
Okay. You do recover some stuff. You get the idea that there, as you're sort of going through, you have a limited time on here before a rolling scan is going to notice that there is somebody that is not supposed to be in the logs. In the logs. But you cover your tracks well enough, you're pretty sure they won't figure out it was you, but they will figure out that there was some kind of breach. The station itself will. There are a lot of people on the station, so not quite such a big deal, but you have a limited amount of time to pull what data you want. So you pull the logs for, are you trying to pull the logs for the entire station, or are you trying
Well,
to
no,
pull
I
for...
only want it for like this bay.
Okay. You can pull for this block is probably the best you can do. So you pull probably the 5 around here, the 5 bays around here, and you get it as a data packet, essentially a document, and you're still connected. It's up to you if you want to disconnect or stay connected, but you can pop it open, and this bay has been in use consistently for about a week, maybe a little more, 8 days. The ship is actually unregistered even in the logs for some reason, which is not typical.
I'll go ahead and let them know that and immediately disconnect from the database.
All right.
Something tells me we'll be finding something interesting aboard. As we're just above it, and we're assuming we're walking down to the main deck to just head on into the ship. Can I get a look at what the make of the ship is? What model it is? Any odd attachments? Anything interesting to note
Okay.
about the actual ship itself?
All right. This is called a lamprey. It is a more civilian, industrial class ship. It's usually only used for, I don't know, 3, 4 people. It's not a huge ship, but what it does have going for it is underneath is a large, typically fuel tank. Its job is actually usually is as a in-flight refueler, typically speaking.
A large external fuel tank?
No, it's actually internal, but it does bulge out a bit. It's sort of like, imagine that there is everybody here's seen, semi trucks with big fuel tanks on the back of them, like that they're hauling gas to a gas station or whatever.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that, but it's like mostly integrated into the bottom of the ship itself. It has 2 massive engines one massive engine on each side, but 2 massive engines, and a sort of short stubby tail. It's actually
And this thing is meant specifically for out of atmosphere open space refueling.
that is what it was originally designed for, but they've been retrofitted a lot to carry various, typically liquid or gaseous chemicals. There's kind of a picture of what we're talking about.
Ooh.
It's maybe tip to tail about 2/3 the size of your own ship.
Gotcha.
They're very hardy. They're also used a lot for fuel scooping stars, as in they would fly out to a star and actually fuel scoop it and then take it back to a refinery to be turned into proper, I guess you could call it high octane fuel. Anybody with a spike drive and fuel scoops can scoop a star and use that in their spike drive, but it can cause damage to said spike drive without proper refinement, which is
So in theory, a high thermal resistance.
very, very.
As we get closer, I kind of give a whistle and go, if everybody on board's dead, I know a guy who could make good use out of it.
Yeah, us.
Well, that too, but I know another guy. But we got our own coming. So, and I walk up
Besides-
towards the door.
I don't think everyone here is dead. Maybe a couple people.
Oswald, you may want to make sure you're able to check in with us regularly. Don't know if we're going to get split up or not. If you need to go to work on the ship, I might not.
You'll know if one of your drives is hit. Just keep a lookout. If you're going to stay out here, that is.
Sure.
Okay, so you guys are up top. Jirani's up top, and the rest of you are sort of walking down to the bay itself.
Believe so.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
You head down a series of stairs, 2 flights of stairs, down to what is essentially an access area. Typically speaking, to access a bay directly, you would need they're kind of open. Kind of. You can move between bays in a way, but they're somewhat partitioned off.
Mm-hmm.
But that allows maintenance to move back and forth, etc. But the doors themselves, typically, you're granted a code, or you're allowed to set a code, so that you can secure the direct door to your bay. And as
Right.
you walk up to it, you notice that there has been a code set to this door. You do not know it off the top of your head. Now, if you want to work around that, that's up to you.
Is there an equivalent of a doorbell next to the door?
Kind of, yeah.
Wait, is Ozzy still next to me?
I'm next to you, yes.
Oh,
There's sort of like an apartment buzzer where it's audio only.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can attempt to buzz
Okay,
in.
that I'll just hold up a finger to Ozzy just so he doesn't say anything for a second. I will push the audio buzzer button and see if anything happens.
Okay.
Bet you both of you standing at the door.
About 30 seconds goes by, and then you hear the buzzer click, as if somebody was listening on the other side.
Hello, this is the station hospitality services wanting to check in on your ship's condition at this.
You hear the little click go out, and then another click of actually speaking through. You just hear, "Fuck off," and then it clicks off.
I'll turn to Ozzy and go, well, there are definitely people inside of that particular vehicle.
And they sound hostile to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that assessment.
Go up to the door. See, I don't want to plant a spike just for the door, but
I might be upstairs, but one of you has a compad. Also, I wouldn't have gotten one of the door code from the logs, right?
No, that's not set up in the logs or anything like that. That is a direct link. So, yeah, you guys would know how this works. When you put your ship into port, wherever that is, into a docking bay, you go on to land power. You essentially will hook up cables so that you're getting your water, your power, O2 filtration if need be, directly from the station. That line, that electrical line, is it's a direct line between essentially the buzzer and the door lock and your ship to secure it. So normally it would have a station code, and then it also then you also set up your own lock code in it. But it is because it's on station power.
mm-hmm. Or would it be to try and basically not pick a lock, but like
kind of do what you did with the bridge door?
Well, not tear the thing open, but like maybe use the multi-tool to squeeze a tool underneath, or like loosen up the panel, unscrew the tool, use the tool to reach underneath the panel and try and just fucking trip the system, trip the thing to.
Okay, I gotcha. I'm gonna say you can unscrew the panel, put your multi-tool back there, and try to sort of fish around a little bit to try to trip a pan. I'm gonna have you give me a luck save instead,
Oh boy.
because that's unfortunately, you trip one and you hear like a little short and some electricity goes through you. It's only 110. It's not bad, but it definitely gives you a little bit of a jolt. Nothing major. Just a reminder that this thing is live.
Fair
Something
enough.
you've gotten plenty of times. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it was kind of. There's a little bit of a like, not just the slightest of twitches on Ozzy's arm. He's like, yeah, no, that's life. As he takes the tool out and says, "Well, Tix, could you go and get Johnny?"
I'll just hold up the compad next
Yeah,
to
man.
me. Johnny. And then I'll slowly lower it back down.
Sup?
Good.
You will.
Go on, Rick.
Yeah. So, Johnny, if you choose to get up, but as you sort of look over, you do see that there is a bay next to this one that is currently empty.
Are the cables that hook up into the station's power something we would physically be able? Or are they like inside of the sealed cargo bay, or the?
They're inside the cargo bay. Basically, there's. Oh, how would I describe this? I'm using actual, like, when you go and pull into a slip on a boat, on a houseboat, you can hook up to essentially 220 power,
Right.
and that you know what I'm talking about, those little like sticky uppy things that has like the power and the water comes right off of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There's essentially one of those inside
Okay, but it is
that they
inside.
plug into.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a short line.
And is it like a rule to like not have your spike drive running or something inside? Like, let's say theoretically, if we were able to get that disconnected, would they not be allowed to like run internal? Would they have to like
They
go
could run
invest-
internal power. That's fine.
Okay.
It's just most people don't, because if you need to do maintenance on a spike drive, if you need to do, I mean, it's also just cheaper and easier to run it off the station, because it also gives you a data hardline, but you can't, or you can choose to add a data hardline if you want. It's just like
Okay.
adding some of those have like long phone cables for exactly the same thing. So if you wanted to do that, you could. Most don't. Most just use, the wireless if that's what they want to do.
Okay. And is Durrani coming over?
Yeah. Carries there's an empty bay, but if I don't remember that bay was said to be empty anyways, I'm not gonna like pay much attention to it.
Okay.
There was an empty bay. It was meant to be empty as well. Like there's nobody that's taken that spot currently.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
There's
continue
just
my
a
way down.
bunch of boxes stacked up, almost creating vague partitions outside of the, like, encroaching on but not quite on the blast door airlocks. So this ship could leave if it wanted to, but like definitely those boxes have gotten a lot closer than they typically, like outside of the yellow line sort of deal, but technically the ship could leave.
Okay, so as Durrani comes over, wait, where's Leaf? Where'd Leaf?
He's just with us. He's behind.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Then I'll kind of huddle everybody up, essentially. Like, all right, so there's definitely people in there. They are not very hospitable, which is fine. I understand. I have an idea. It may not be a good one, but it will give us some information. Depending on how we act upon it, could give us more or less information. So I'm thinking if we can get inside of there, or if one of you fellas can either get into some kind of particular hardware line or software thing, we can kind of smoke them out. I think if we either fluctuate their power from the station, disconnect it, or provide like an overload to it, then they will probably want to go investigate or have somebody investigate one or the other, which could either get us in there or get them out, one or the other.
Let me see what we're working with here. I'm gonna look for like an access panel.
I mean, it's where you guys are at that door. The only quote unquote access panel is the buzzer. There's nothing else there. Like pretty much these bays are self-contained for the most part.
And we know that the nose of the ship is pointed at the door, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's a camera on the underside of the ship that is definitely pointed at the door as
There's
well.
people in there, so as soon as we get this door open, legitimately or not, they'll know. Oh, I know. There's an empty bay next door. Maybe we can see if we can get access from there.
We can certainly try. We can at least see what's inside of there.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be. It'll just be the same problem, but on the other side, correct?
But we'll be able to see what's in there, at least as far as how it's all set up and configured. Sort of a trial run, if you.
I suppose so. All right, let's do it.
All right,
All
we
right.
head to the empty bay.
Okay, so you go back up the stairs, over 1 to Bay 42, and sort of start walking down. And as you get down there, you see kind of the same setup, but I'm not going to make you guys roll a perception or anything weird like that. It's pretty obvious the door has something at the bottom that's wedging it just ever so slightly open.
Open to the empty one or open to the
To the empty one, yeah.
I'm gonna
The door
back up
is
like 10 steps.
it's definitely it's closed almost all the way, but there's maybe a half-inch gap between the door and the wall. It's like a slidey door.
Right, sorry, which door is this? The door that goes into
Bay
Bay
41.
43 or
42.
Bay 42.
Okay, into 42. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Leaf, could you just go and take a look through the crack and see? You see anything?
You're
Leaf?
muted, Tanaka.
He's not muted, which is the weird part.
Or he's just.
Well, I
Oh,
could
he's not
locally
back
mute
yet.
it.
No.
Oh, all right.
All right, I'll do it.
All right.
I'm gonna send the meat shield in, but I'll do it.
I can look, but my look is, or notice or whatever, is garbage.
My notice is decent.
All right. So let's get a notice out of you. Notice with wisdom.
Okay. What do we got? Notice with wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
7.
All right. 7 succeeds.
That makes- yeah.
You as you sort of glance through, it's not a huge amount of space that you can see on the other side, due to a half-inch gap. But you can see that there are several sort of shipping containers and things like that on the other side. Large boxes, mostly made of metal. It doesn't seem like there's anything too crazy. It actually looks like this bay has been in disuse for a while. And it is full of maintenance gear as well. So there's like, you can see what looks like, to your eyes, relatively easy to tell, a broken down forklift off to the side that's just inside your view. there are several pieces of sort of heavy lifting jacks and supports and
Mhm.
braces inside.
Question: you said maintenance can go in and out of these rooms without interference, correct?
Typically speaking, yes, unless a ship has a lock.
Wonderful. How do? Wait. Unless ship was locked. What do you mean?
Unless there's a ship code on it,
Okay.
Yeah, like Bay
then
43.
yeah, like on Docking Bay 43, then the maintenance code, you would assume, typically speaking, they need sort of a permission to enter,
hmm
unless it's an emergency. So the
Well,
emergency services have like a physical key.
we note that there have been boxes placed in here before, which means that there definitely some people were able to get in.
And the door's partway open.
Well, I don't think they'd be putting a ship in here if there was all this crates and stuff inside. So probably pretty.
Leaf, could you just, be kind of pantomimes pulling the door?
I do have another idea. It depends on how far we want to take this. We could try and find some of the maintenance coveralls and basically just wall, just under the guise of being a maintenance team.
Yeah, I figure having a forklift over might help as well.
Yeah.
And he'll kind of turn to Leaf again and say, "Did you mind? Again, pantomimes, just pulling the door."
Oh, you want me to blow a door? All right.
There's a door that's slightly ajar. All you gotta do is open
Yeah.
it.
It's just a super heavy blast door, sort of Star Trek-y style, and slides into the wall.
Okay. So what would I need to?
Exert with strength.
And is the thing that's keeping the door open like a pin or like just a physical object that's blocking the
Yeah,
place?
you
bad.
can't really. It's hard to see, but it's some sort of metallic object of some kind.
Hmm.
You start hauling on this door, and it's heavy, but it starts to slowly move, and it takes you a solid minute of pulling to get this thing, far enough that all of you guys could slip through.
As
About
for
2.5 feet, maybe 3
slipping
feet
through,
wide.
I'm gonna grab that pin. What
It's
is it?
it's a it seems to be some kind of screwdriver, kind of bulky.
Interesting.
Um, it's not like your typical flathead or Phillips head. It's actually got a nut driver on.
Hmm.
Don't know what it's for necessarily, but it's a useful piece of tech, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna use it for its own use. We're just gonna open that door or keep that door ajar, but slightly more open.
Okay. So you can things about 8 inches long. You can do that.
All right.
So while he's spending that minute opening the door, could I be looking around for either like a maintenance entrance into the area where like it might lead to like a locker room or something, or just some maintenance gear that's
Sure,
been
give
laying
me
around,
notice.
something like that? As far as
Notice wisdom.
still not great with these. Hey, 9, nice.
Hey, not bad. You can actually see that a little ways into this bay, as you guys are sort of messing with the door, and you notice the door is just unpowered for some reason. So pulling it open and closing it is both a physical task in each direction.
Okay, so it's
Uh,
not. I don't need to actually keep
No,
it
you
closed.
could leave it,
Just,
but
okay.
yeah.
Is there like
Still gonna wedge it just in case.
is there like a digital signature that can be used? That I know of that can be like, oh, I can fake like a maintenance clearance.
Off the top of your head, you haven't looked for that? No. But you could try to look for that. But Tex, you notice that a little ways away, sort of there's almost like a box, or like a square made out of these various storage crates and things. And you catch a glimpse of a series of lockers kind of in the middle of this large square.
Yeah. All right, cool. Beeline for that.
Okay. So you head over to said lockers.
Yeah, start opening them.
Okay. Most of them aren't locked. There are a couple that are. But you sort of flip them open. There's a lot of welding gear, a lot of essentially power tools, various drills and things like that, as well as like impact drivers, all that sort of stuff. You get the idea that like they just took this docking bay and sort of made it a second shop for the maintenance guys. And you do manage to find one pair of ratty ass coveralls.
Okay, I wave Ozzy on him, and then when he gets close, I'll just be like, "Hey, you ever heard of Christmas? Well, this is it."
I don't think we have that in New Pariah, and I wasn't much for holidays after I left.
What about birthdays? You got birthdays, right? Here you go, birthdays.
I can acquire from context clues, but
God damn. I just show him like the wealth of like welded equipment, and I like hand him the coverall or something. Well, I'm like, well, yeah, shit, somebody's gonna have to go inside of that bay, I think, and it'll either have to be you or me. Do you want it to be me to talk to them, or do you want it to be you to try and get to whatever we have to access to try and smoke them out?
Is there a reason we can't both go?
Well, I only found one pair of coveralls. If we find two, though, I'll definitely go.
Well,
I think I can speak their language a bit more, perhaps, but
yeah,
again,
there are
I'm
some
not.
lockers that are locked, though. I
maybe
mean, if somebody
can
can
have
pick those.
a suggestion.
Yes.
Tex, your voice is pretty recognizable, so if you speak and they hear you, they might be able to make it that you were the person talking to them earlier, and
Well,
maybe we could send in Leaf.
See, there's kind of a benefit to that. I'm aware of that. And earlier, when I spoke to him on the door talkie thingy, I can sometimes change my voice a little bit and make it sound a little bit less from where I'm from. So it's my one trick, other than flying, that's a whole series of tricks. That's a different story.
You're playing
Anyway.
forward, but you're a pilot.
It's yeah, kind of. It's more of just that like he knows, like the lady that he talked to in the armored suit. She's like, I fucking know where you're from, and like he's aware of that.
Yeah.
And like that gives him away sometimes. So he's kind of worked on one other accent, but it's not his real accent.
While he's explaining, I'm gonna use the tools to free the tools.
Yay!
Sure. You find other bits and bobs, mostly in the tool spectrum, including sort of like a power hacksaw, or rather bandsaw, and various like lighting implements and things like that. This is definitely, they're all well used, and by well used I mean beaten the shit out of. They were probably bought 20 years ago and have been used every single fucking day since then.
Does this seem like just like a throwaway office then? Or like a
from the looks of it, this definitely seems like sort of like a secondary shop, like sort of a makeshift shop, where they're keeping gear, maybe bring stuff back here. You can actually see a couple of like old shipping containers that have definitely like been broken, that have been set up as workbenches here and there and stuff. Seems to be like this is a relatively large station, and is sort of, this is a makeshift shop for the maintenance guys.
Wonderful. But yeah, so I'll grab him the pair of coveralls, just toss them over and say, all right, now, if you can talk your way into the station, I can try and walk you through process.
That sounds like it'll work super well.
Yeah, boy.
That's all right. It's all right. Don't worry. Hey, keep in mind, I've done a little bit of fixing too, right? I maintained my own chips for a long time before I met you, but
Question.
just nothing
How-
super.
What did you mean by smoke them out again? What was the like?
Well, so what I'm thinking is when you dock a ship in a bay, you hook up to the station's power, and so
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is they've apparently been sitting in there for a long time, or just sneaking out. I'm guessing sneaking out. They might be coming through this bay. And so I'm thinking if we just either like fluctuate the power or disconnect the power, which is the least good option because they'll just kick on their own internal power, or overload it somehow. I don't know, but double the power going to their ship or something. Then they would likely have to come out and investigate what the hell was going on.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good plan, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, just something to get them outside so we can at least see who or what they are.
I don't think they're going to be particularly interested in, going outside. Even if their power is fluctuating, their charade is that there's nobody there. Why would they care?
Well, but that's not the case though, because they talked to me earlier, so we know somebody's in there.
Yeah,
they're
we
not
know
trying to
somebody's
hide
in
it.
there, but why would they come out?
Because
They're trying to
they would
run
have
low.
if they were having issues with their power. I assume, at least this is what I'd do. I would try and disconnect from the station and then just run on internal power.
Yeah,
So
but you're not an
we'll at least
undercover
get a small.
corporate spy.
Well, no, not that you know of. Dun dun dun. Okay, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to think of ways that we can get them out that doesn't involve somebody getting shot in the gut.
Yeah.
Are the walls in this bay all the way up?
Nope.
What does that mean?
Okay, I think I need to draw this out a little bit.
Like,
Are
can
there
we just hop
ceiling?
over the side of the bay into the next bay?
It's straight. It's mostly flat. Like, okay, if this is a bay or two bays,
Mhm.
right? There is a section that's like that. These are the blast doors that actually sit in the floor. When a ship comes in, let's do no snapping. Okay. When a ship comes in, it comes in this way, and
Mhm.
these go up
Right.
just to basically be an airlock. Once the ship is landed, secured, and everything, the outer walls go down, and this door stays obviously up. Then it's kind of just flat, but there's a whole bunch of crap that's basically in the way here. And typically speaking, there's like some lines and things, or there might be like a half wall here that goes to about there.
Wait, so we can just walk to the ship.
I was about to say, I
You
was just
could.
gonna point. Can't you guys just like
Let's
get
let's
through
just
the
walk
grate?
to the ship.
Yeah, there's like a half wall here, right, as a delineator.
Yeah.
But maintenance, in order to, go places, like this whole area here is just open.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Um,
ask we
They can
just
go
go
in
knock.
between.
Wait, hang on. Then question. So, is there a working forklift on this side?
There is no working forklift there.
It could be
It
a soon be
seems
working
that
forklift.
you could attempt to fix it if you
Sure,
wanted to.
that would be cool. So, okay, the other question to that is, you said that they were starting to move crates and stuff around the other ship in Bay 43.
Yeah, so typically speaking, you're not going to cross that line, right? The line
Right.
that is this. And normally you're going to give it plenty, or the sort of blast walls. But normally you're going to give it plenty of room, right? But they've got a whole bunch of stuff that's like right up against where the blast walls would go up.
Right. So my question is, what the fuck is that? My question is, then would you be able to actually like is it like behind like a handrail or something? Would you actually be able to drive a forklift basically up to the ship essentially?
Where are you going
You are
with that?
capable of doing that if you drove it up here. Then this whole area is just an open aisle so that they can
Right.
move forklifts and things like that. So you could drive up this way, then to the ship.
Okay. Awesome. Then I have an
If you
idea.
wanted to.
What
All
is
right.
your idea?
I will take the coveralls and I'll say, all right, Ozzy, if you can get that forklift running, I got an idea. So they've been moving crates over there by the ship, right? Well, what if you had some sort of, I don't know, sloppy new forklift driver who was a rookie and may or may not happen to ding their ship a little bit with one of the crates that they're moving over there? Then we could see what their attitude is when they come out.
Yeah, negative.
No.
Done.
How about we don't immediately get into a fight? And just go
That's
over
not necessarily
there
a fight. I'm
without
not
them
talking
seeing
about ramming it. I just mean like, you bump it and they hear it and they come out and investigate. It's either that or the power or whatever other solutions you guys come up with. I feel like I'm doing all.
Honestly, I'm annoyed at this point. I just want to work on a forklift. I'm gonna go off and
Alright.
work on a forklift to relax.
All right. In that case, give me a fix check. And if you're trying, since you're trying to kind of get this up and running relatively quickly, let's make it dexterity.
All right.
It's a relatively simple fix. Forklifts aren't
10.
particularly difficult. All right. It's going to take you about 20, 30 minutes to actually get this, taken apart and put back together. It's an issue with the hydraulic line, and it's way underneath. So you're going to have to pull it apart, put it back together. It's going to take you about 20, 30 minutes. So in the meantime, our construction crew, you guys head over to an airlock. If you're all here. Think so.
I am.
Okay. You guys head over to the airlock with the large, well, not too large, medium-sized package. I'm assuming Lexi's carrying that. And there is an individual sort of there, who checks, asks you why you're there, and you tell him you're delivering a package to the construction room. He kind of points it out vaguely as kind of pretty well way the hell out here, unfortunately. It looks at you and says, "Good luck." And the you guys all step into the airlock, and you can see what is a jungle of scaffolding and floating parts. There are some of them tethered, some of them not, but there's this large set of netting around the construction area, holding all the extraneous parts in. There is no gravity at all. And there are various pieces of metal, cut off pieces here and there, just floating around inside of this area. As the airlock door behind you closes and the one opens in front of you, and you are met with what is a somewhat convoluted path, and you can see way off in the distance a small, maybe I would say like bedroom sized building, I guess you could say, or like room that it seems to be fully constructed, has lights on and two large windows sort of staring over the entire construction area. You also see two large, sort of semi-spherical, but with like pieces protruding everywhere, various like grappler arms and tools and things. Drones, about the size of Lexi, currently hauling a large I-beam through this crazy jungle of scaffolding towards wherever they're going.
Ooh, I'd like to get my hand on one of those bots. Imagine what I could make.
I'm not sure you should steal a bot from here or anything like that. But maybe we can get closer.
But I'm not stealing. I'm just borrowing and making it my own.
Well, we'll see.
as you guys are looking over everything, you can see that there is sort of a path along the scaffolding. It is jagged. It goes everywhere. There are several like sort of ladders and handholds along the way. And it tends to take you quite a ways away from the building and then towards it. Or you guys do always have the option of there's no gravity, jumping for it if you want to.
Hey, Lexi, you think you can make that jump?
Yeah, jump is for children.
Okay,
Well,
so if I
when
give
I say jumping, I mean more accuracy than strength. Because you're going to go in whatever direction you decide to jump off this station at until you eventually hit the netting on the outside, hopefully.
Lexi's just gonna take the box and pretty much just use her other hand as a guide, or to like grab onto shit and kind of guide herself to the.
Okay, so that would be the slower way instead of trying to just
Yeah,
going
she'll take a
straight through the
slower,
gap
yeah,
through the
just
middle.
safer way. She wants to jump it, but she doesn't feel like having to, you know, pay up repairs for
Okay.
her suit or some shit.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
I tie a rope to Lexi and just let her pull me along.
Okay. And Evil?
I think I'm gonna jump.
You're going to try it?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. Okay. So. Oh, it makes me happy.
Oh, I just realized something. Lexi could have picked up Jace.
That'd be awesome.
That would be actually pretty great.
All I can think of is that Thor scene where he just fucking swings rocket around like crazy.
Okay. So for Lexi and for Evil, we're gonna need, in this case, I'm gonna say it's gonna be an exert check with dexterity for each of you. Lexi, you have a -1 because you have a hanger on. Not so, it's just it might throw you off. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. DCs are a little okay, great. Lexi, we'll start with you because why not? You're moving along pretty well, and Jace, you're sort of bouncing around on the rope, sort of above Lexi, as another one of these construction drones sort of zips by, little retro thrusters, just expelling gas out the side to keep it oriented correctly and moving. Unfortunately, one of said construction drone's arms manages to entangle itself in that rope that's holding on to both of you. And Lex, you feel yourself being pulled right off of the scaffolding that you're carrying. Evil. You, as you sort of kick off the scaffolding aiming, you think you got it about right, and then you notice that you're drifting a bit. You must have kicked off just slightly wrong. And there's nothing ahead of you except what looks like a group of maybe 5 or 6 of these construction drones all shut down. And you
This is
don't hit
gonna
them
hurt.
hard. You actually don't hit them that hard. But you knock them around, and the arms start, as they spin, the various arms and appendages slowly, like, almost cage you in the center of these. So you are kind of, you're not stuck exactly, but you're not exactly free. You're kind of entangled in about 5 or 6 of these shut down. And now that you're getting a very close look, broken construction drones.
Ooh. Jace, if you can come over to here, I think I might have a little surprise for you.
You get a quick glimpse out from in between all of the drones that you're kind of entangled in, and you can see Jace and Lexi being pulled along quite happily by another construction drone headed to the south side of the complex. Quite a ways from you. They're probably about 200, now 250, now 300 feet away.
Oh, goodness.
Can I use climb up basically the cable to the actual robot, see if I can hack it and control it?
I'm gonna give you an exert with dexterity to try to just get onto this thing. You are kind of attached by a rope and somewhat tangled up.
One second, I can't find the other window.
Lexi's gonna remove the rope from her person
Okay.
and kind of look for the next closest thing to steadily grab onto that's in her way.
Okay. All right, Nate.
One-handed, mind you. I guess she's still holding this box.
Okay. So you managed to sort of just untie the rope or cut it or whatever you're doing, and kick off the drone as it's not actively entangling you anymore. The drone sort of shifts to the side, and some retro thrusters sort of stop it from moving, return it to its initial position, and it continues. And you go flying or sort of sailing down and have a less than comfortable but not damaging impact with an I-beam and manage to catch onto a handhold of some kind there. Jace, you are connected by said rope, but you do manage to, that is wrapped around one of its appendages, but you do manage to sort of climb up over the top and you're looking around for some kind of control panel. You see something that looks vaguely electronic. Might work. Don't know.
Well, I have my data slab and compad. Well, could I tie them together to connect wirelessly to it? Because it's being controlled, right?
It is being controlled. What exactly are you trying to do?
Get into the navigation settings to use it basically as my own little sled.
Okay, that's gonna be a program with no, actually, it won't be intelligence. It'll be wisdom to attempt to find a port to hack into one of these things. Yeah, you start looking around and you're like, all right, so I got like a USB-C, but this definitely takes like a VGA or something. Like, what the fuck is happening? And you can't find a way to get into it. And then so you try wirelessly and you cannot find the signal in the noise of all of the generalized station communications. But you are sailing around on a little drone.
Okay.
At least up until the point that it stops, moves its arm, and you feel a little tug on your waist as the rope goes taut. You're not pulled off yet. And then you see at the end of that appendage is what is very obviously essentially an arc welder, as it then jerks its hand over to the spot that it is beginning to weld an I-beam into place. And you're kind of flung a little bit out away off the drone from while you're attached to the rope. And it looks a little bit like if you've ever seen like the kendama toys. Jace is currently being bounced back and forth like a little kendama ball, while this thing is attempting to weld various things and readjusting to the weight that it's really not supposed to have. Actually, a bit more like a tetherball.
Whee!
Yeah, kind of. As you're spinning around the arm, the metallic arm, you are noticing the rope is spinning around the arm. So it's starting to shorten, and there is a welder at the end of it.
Not
Just
so
something to keep in mind.
Okay. I will make sure that the cable is securely attached to me, and I will take my pistol and try to use it to recoil to get more back to the bot.
Oh, you're
so that
trying
I
to
can
make
get
it
back on
so you spin the other way.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Yeah. What kind of pistol do you have?
I have the semi-auto pistol.
Let me look at something.
Probably won't do a lot, but it's still some kinetic energy. It is
Well,
ballistic.
it's not so much that as I know some bullets and cartridges are specifically designed to fire underwater and have their own oxidizer. But what about space?
Well, a
It's my
bullet
only
is
question here, because
a
like,
bullet is still the case. If it's like a standard semi-auto, like because I think it said it was like a 1911. The case itself is still sealed, and the explosion is still inside. There's nothing. There's no resistance for it,
right.
so it should still work.
That's what I was trying to figure out, is if it was exactly that, or if it was sort of slightly like a slightly different. But yeah, I think you'd be all right with a shot or two.
Yeah, because I'm only using it to get to create the explosion, so I can get force the other way.
Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna eject a cartridge, but yeah, you take 2 shots. You do notice that it has a because it's semi-auto. The rack that it does off of the gas is a little bit weird. And it takes like kind of an extra second as the whole thing is sort of pushing everywhere. But you do begin spinning the opposite direction after 2 shots. So burn off 2 ammo.
Okay, done.
First one sort of mostly arrests your direction. The second one gets you spinning the other direction. Okay. Meanwhile, Lexi, you've managed to hold on to onto an I-beam. You're now an extra 400, 500 feet away from the what appears to be the command center for these drones. You do notice there's only like 3 drones, maybe 4 in this entire area that are actually working. There are 6 that are currently entrapping evil.
All right, Lexi guesses she'll go help her fucking captain.
Okay. How are you doing that? You just gonna start climbing again?
I guess she'll kind of use her other hand, to guide herself along and find like a good spot to just push off and
And go
kind of
for
head
it.
herself off there. Yeah.
Exert with strength. You can find a decent spot, and you do notice that there isn't a lot of scaffolding around the captain. It
Well, I
seems
was
like they
mainly gonna
chose
grab
this.
onto one of the bots.
Yeah. But my point is that you couldn't have gotten there just from the scaffolding anyway.
Gotcha.
Mostly
Okay.
because they put all those dysfunctional and broken bots off to the side.
Ew.
Okay. You take off and you're pretty sure you're aimed dead on at the captain. And Captain, you see this. You see Lexi come to save you. And you sort of reach out, Lexi, to grab onto a bot, or maybe to push some of the bots away, and you sail up as you get closer, about 20 feet away from the pack, and just keep on going.
Okay, this is really weird, but I don't know. Seems like something she would do. How long of the time does she get? Like, does she have any prep time before any of the, like realizing that she's overshot?
You would think you were kind of roughly on track until maybe about 10, 15 seconds before you sort of sail over you start to see the difference.
Okay. All right. Lexi wants to attempt to. She's gonna have to pull out her. Okay, there. I'm just making sure I have it. Okay. Yeah. She's got 20 meters worth of rope.
Okay.
She's going to grab that and tie it onto a telescoping pole. She pulls out of her pack and she'll activate the telescoping pole and javelin that bitch right at the fucking boss.
Okay.
Say, Captain Kitch.
Okay.
Okay.
At
is
that
so much
close
better.
of a range, I'm not going to say that you really need to throw it into the pack, but Evil's going to have to try to catch, or scramble through to actually grab onto the damn thing. Not entirely sure what that would be. It might be another exert with
Dex.
either strength or dex, and it's your choice.
Okay.
No, not on you. That's on Evil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sailing. You're 20 feet away, and it's a straight line. You can at least throw the pole into the crazy massive arms in the middle.
So what did you say for me to use?
Exert with strength or dex, whichever one you want.
Okay.
Okay, you manage to sort of pretty nimbly like pull one of your hands back and sort of weave it through all this stuff to grab onto the pole relatively well. You kind of get the other one, you use that to sort of as an anchor, and you hold on to it for a second, sort of grab on with the other hand, and then Lexi's momentum sort of jerks you out, and it slows both of you down to a pretty close to a crawl, but you are moving as all of these 6 other drones sort of roll away from you, sort of quasi unlocking you from your prison of weird arms and various tools.
Yay!
You are now very slowly drifting towards the outer netting. As in, it's about 100 feet away, and you'll be there in about 3 to 5 minutes. All right. So, let's cut back for the moment to the guys in the bay.
As the forklift starts up, I just kind of look up and say, "How do the other group is doing?"
Yeah,
So I
probably
just
tumbling off
realized-
into space.
I just realized we sent Lexi, the captain, and Jace on a mission together.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, how hard could it be? All I have to do is deliver
It's
a crate,
Lexi,
right?
the captain, and Jace.
Yeah, but it's just a crate.
I mean, the
Yeah,
doctor
that'll be
was
fine.
fine, mostly. Just,
Yeah.
don't get her talking about chemicals.
Oh god, she's gonna turn everybody in the station into zombies, isn't she? Or free
Yeah,
from
well,
monsters.
if Lexi doesn't blow up the station first.
That could be fun too.
From the
Oh, boy.
outside?
Anyways, it works. Just do your thing. Tell you what, we are gonna sit on the outskirts, just behind some of the boxes, and what do you say? Journey? Actually, no, Leaf.
Hmm.
How about you and I try and sneak onto their ship while they come out to deal with whatever Tix is gonna be doing?
Sure.
I still think it would
Sounds
be
like
easier to
fun.
sneak on the ship when there's nobody outside. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna
the
go hide
doors
behind,
won't be open.
a crate that's hidden from view from the other bay.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. Like we're all gonna be somewhere around here ish as
Okay.
as he comes over there.
Okay,
Just,
so
let me
if
know
I
when
have
you're
this
done,
right, okay, so if I have this right, Tex is taking the forklift with some random box
And overalls on. Or coveralls, rather.
and
Yeah,
the
I got
coveralls.
the maintenance cover.
Yeah, you see that the maintenance coveralls have a name patch on it that says Don.
Don.
Your name is Don.
Then down to let's see, down here we have Oswald and Leaf, and where's Girani?
Girani's with us too. Just the
Okay.
me and
The three of you are down there.
Yeah.
Hidden behind
me
some
and Leaf
boxes.
are planning on heading on up to the ship.
Okay. All right. Execute whatever plan it is that you have.
Execute
Question:
Plan 66.
What was the camera that you mentioned? Was that on the bottom of the ship, or was it like a?
It was actually, or no, it wasn't the bottom. It would top or sort of off the nose,
Oh, damn! All right.
about 10 feet up.
Okay.
If it was at the bottom, you guys wouldn't have seen it.
Okay, that works. All right. Well, let's see. I will. Let's see. I guess stash my duster and cowboy hat and sawed-off shotgun in a locker. I will keep my Bowie knife like tucked into my belt, but underneath. And I'll hop onto the fucking thing and pick up a crate and head that.
Okay. You kind of take a second to kind of get used to controls. They're a little bit weird. It's like you got a steering wheel and then like 4 levers. And it's kind of odd to fuck with. But after sort of messing with it for about a minute and a half, you kind of have the general idea, and you realize that maybe not knowing quite exactly what to do might make a convincing performance. So you grab what looks like a large pallet of, well, you're not really sure what. It's a whole bunch of metal plates.
Are there like, is it like a big one, like a almost like a shipping container, or like something that's fairly tall? Is what I'm.
Yeah.
Okay,
This one's pretty solid. You actually can grab one and stack it on the other one if you wanted to.
Sure. Yeah.
So you've got about a 9-foot tall stack of pallets with these various metal plates on them. Yeah. And
OSHA's gonna be
begin
pissed.
driving off. Yeah, OSHA would be real pissed.
All right, and then I'm going to try and like maneuver around the other crates that have been kind of put around in that area. And the idea is, this is
Are
a
you
terrible
driving
idea.
forwards or backwards? That's what I'd like to know.
Well,
Yes.
forwards, but you can look around unless it's like a super wide load. But
It's not super wide, but
okay.
as an ex-forklift driver,
Yeah, I've done it. I've done
you
it
to
as
do it
well.
backwards.
Well, it depends on what you're hauling, but yes, I've run a forklift plenty of times as
And
well.
also,
So
navigate forwards might again be more convincing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just doing the whole like lean out the left side of the thing, looking
All
forward, lean
right.
out the right side. Like
Okay,
I've done this
gotcha.
before in real life.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah. And then basically what my plan is to essentially find some spot where it's like, oh yeah, this will totally fit where it actually won't.
Okay.
And then drive it into that spot where it will actually kind of scratch with a nice long like or just like dent the thing in, one or the other, and then just kind of realize, oh no, what have I done? And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
We're all gonna die.
Maybe just me.
All right. There's one spot. You notice that the engines are pretty low, but they have are lower than the nose. But like you could potentially go underneath the ship itself if you wanted to try that.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, underneath the nose of the ship.
Yep.
Um,
That's perfect.
and you kind of figure, guessing that you could probably lift it up just enough, especially if you were already under it and then just barely lifted it up to get kind of that effect of metal on metal, nail on chalkboard, screeching noise.
Yeah. I want it to be noticeable from inside.
Okay.
And then after I do some semblance of whether it's minor or whatever damage, just kind of like quickly drop the whole load, like the pallet, onto the floor, and then just go like, just oh man, like start fucking hamming it up.
Okay. All right. So the other three get in position, and you drive off. Getting close to the nose, you start lifting up the load a bit, and you connect, and you definitely get that sound across the whole thing, and it echoes.
Yes.
It's an all metal area. It echoes down like 3 or 4 bays, probably. In fact, everybody in the back, Jirani and Leaf and Oswald, you hear it, and you already know what it was gonna be, but man, it's loud. And then you guys just hear a as you don't even have to put the thing down. The top pallet sort of falls off to the side anyway.
Yes.
And you see it. When somebody drops a metal tray at like a restaurant and everybody's like, "Oh," right? Nobody does that, but it sounds like somebody just dropped like a cookie sheet, and it just roll like as probably a good 150 of these steel plates just clatter onto the metal floor.
Oswald just goes, "Well, that's a flashback I didn't need today."
Also, do I see the cables that the ship is plugged into? Like, is that the front of the ship or like behind it?
It's kind of front, and it's you more off to the side, off to one of the engines, but you do see it.
Okay, cool.
Plugs in underneath one of the engines. So
Yep.
Should aim for the
but there's only about a 4-foot high gap underneath the engines where the landing gear are. So, but you do see that now that you're on the other side of the ship, having driven underneath it as you did.
Yep.
And it takes a second, and then a loading dock door on the back of the ship does drop down.
I'm just doing the like, oh man, oh crap, oh, just like walking around the forklift trying to like, oh it's shit, like one of the like you see in the like warehouse accident videos where like all the shelves fall over and the dude's just like, what am I gonna do? Like hands on his head. That's the good.
Okay, so you all see one guy go charging down. He's in sort of a longer coat, and bald head, seems pretty muscular, charging down, screaming at you. Everybody in the back sees this as it comes down the ramp, and he starts basically, power walking towards you, Tex. What the fuck do you think you're fucking doing?
And that's our cue.
And meanwhile, there's a second person that
Sorry.
does you see walk down the ramp. He is holding what appears to be a long gun of some kind, a rifle. And Jirani, you recognize he's wearing sort of woven combat armor, and you recognize the shoulder patch.
Oh.
It's a shark fin over a blue border.
Oh shit.
What?
Use your words.
Get it out.
Let me deal with this.
No.
Maybe. No, it's fuck. I point at the guy who walked out with the long gun and point at his shoulder and like his shoulder, and then that's a member of the Cobalt Sharks. They're a organized family.
Yeah, so?
Okay.
We're losing a window. Let's go. I start heading up, try and sneak into the ship.
I'd kind of like do that thing where like look back and like just take a step in neither direction, and then finally follow them in.
All right. I will say this guy is like at the bottom of the ramp,
Oh, damn.
and you're not gonna really be able to sneak up on him at the moment.
So noting
Bottom,
that,
but
I
he's
just kind of look
looking.
over.
He's looking around. He does a quick once over of the bay. He doesn't see you, at least if you
Yeah.
haven't moved.
Not yet.
And he does take a look up at where the commotion is. While the other guy starts screaming at Tex, and eventually he actually just he's essentially just gonna like start getting right up in your face, Tex, like
Oh yeah, of course.
2 inches away, screaming his brains out. It pushes you a bit, like back away from the ship. And you can actually, no, you can't at the moment, but you can smell like garlic on this guy's breath, and it's strong.
Well, it's good to know he's not a vampire.
Yep. Well, there you go.
All right, rule that
But
one
yeah,
thing.
the other guy sort of watches that for a moment, but he is pretty good about standing there guard at the back of the ship. At least for the moment, as far as you can tell.
As Tex is being chewed out, I just kind of look over and say, "All right, then what's his deal? What's wrong?"
Well, they're not afraid to use more aggressive stuff, so their presence on this station is probably not very good news, but you should still
As
try
in
to find
illegal?
out what's actually on board.
Yeah, boy. Well, if you can find a distraction.
Isn't that what? that
Yeah,
was
distract
for?
him. Distract the guy with the gun.
Sure.
Unless, question.
Yes,
Giovanni.
I can.
Johnny,
Yes.
would anyone care if he just didn't come back? As in, we've got Leaf here. We've got a surprise attack.
Oh no.
Yes.
Damn it. All right, distraction.
They don't usually send people out for anything small.
Distraction.
Fuck. I start walking over, and as I'm turning most of the front of my torso away from view, I'm gonna try to sneak out my symbol of the Cobalt Sharks.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, I don't know, man, before
And,
blah, blah, like
he
that
just
kind of
goes,
shit.
Get the fuck out. Leave this shit. Get the fuck out now.
I gotta fill a report. Like I'm messing with like
Do it
fumbling with
later.
my
Get
data
the
pad.
fuck
Like,
out.
I'm gonna do my best to look
He
as
starts
professional.
pushing you towards the door.
I'm gonna let him continue to push me towards the door, just so that like he will continue to move towards the door away from.
Yeah. At this point, you guys are kind of up at the aisle, right? And you can kind of see down a little ways. And you can see at least 2 other guys in maintenance coveralls running towards you, having heard the commotion.
Oh shit! All right.
Oops.
Just, you wanted to make a loud noise, you did.
This is gonna get weird. All right.
All right. So, question then. A data spike, a line shunt only needs to be placed a few centimeters away from a feed or a wire.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that obviously goes through metal and all that. Knowing this type of ship, I know the name of it at the very least. I know it's a lamprey. Is there anywhere on the ship that I can throw this thing where it would feed into an information? Like, is there any sort of weak point that I can throw this line shunt?
Typically speaking, underneath the cockpit area would be a good spot, or on the tail. Specifically, there are 2 large data lines that actually run across. You can kind of see them in the picture. They're the 2 pipes there at the top, in the thin part, where the
Gotcha.
tail connects up. If you can hit one of those, you have a pretty good chance that there's a data line in there that is actually hooked up to the spike drive and therefore integral into the system.
All right. I just need to wait for him to get that guy to look away from the fucking tail.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile,
I'm just gonna
Johnny?
make sure I look presentable and.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So you start walking up. Yeah. I guess we'll call him the guard for the moment. Looks at you, immediately brings his rifle up, and then sees the symbol on your chest, and is still certainly ready to fire, but relaxes a little bit.
And I'm just gonna say very calmly to him as I'm just still slowly approaching, hands to my sides. Smell blood in the water, brother?
Always. Ah, well, we've been waiting for one of you guys to come out here. So get on board. We've got the property aboard. You can check it out.
Of course.
And he basically ushers you up the ramp.
All right, my cue.
We're getting in deep now, boys.
The shark has entered deep water. Repeat, the shark has entered deep water.
All right.
Ew.
The diver is out of the cage. The diver's out of the cage.
As that happens, in a blur, Johnny, you see what looks like maybe a 4 to 6-year-old girl running down the ramp. The rest of you, other than Tex, see that as well. And the guard grabs onto her, like just by the clothes, picks her up and pulls her back onto the ship. And sort of pats you on the back with the other hand, Johnny, and the two of you, and he sort of pulls you up into the ship. Told you we had good product this time.
I don't want to know.
Uh,
I'm heading up, and I'm just gonna, as they're walking into the ship, just kind of run on over, chuck, and I don't know,
Okay.
not chuck, but like while other guys pulling
Well,
the.
if you want to take an
pointers.
extra second or two, you could aim. If you're going up closer, you
Mhm.
could aim for like the control panel at the bottom of the lift gate.
What difference would that make from the main data line on the back end of the ship? Versus,
It might be a little bit harder to hack into or mess with, but it also means you wouldn't have to throw it.
yeah, we'll go with the. I'll wait for them to walk up
Okay.
the ramp and then sort of
Okay.
place it underneath.
Tax, you have effectively been pushed quite a ways away, and the other two guys in coveralls are pretty close by, and he just
as soon as I noticed that the two guys, that Johnny and Ozzy are like done with their stuff, or like, Johnny's going up the ramp and he's put in the spike, I just immediately go, all right, I'll go, and like I just fucking bolt out the door.
okay. Bolt
then-
out the way you came.
I assume so. Where were the maintenance guys coming from?
Not the way you came.
Oh, okay. Well,
They're coming from like
shit.
Bay 44.
Oh, fuck. All right.
You could run back towards the shop where at least you have an open door.
Yeah, that's so. I want to do that. Is there? Would I be out of the line of sight if I went back to that locker and got my stuff, or do I just have to
Yeah,
like message
yeah,
somebody
you
and be
could
like,
be.
"Bring my-" Yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna try and grab my stuff and then head out.
Okay. So you just run off, and the other two sort of try to calm down the other guy and say, "We'll fix it, and don't worry, he'll get a talking to." And so pissed off dude sort of heads out up the ramp, quickly looks around, doesn't see you. Oswald presses the button on the inside to raise the ramp, and the ramp begins going up.
Well, suppose then, suppose I'm gonna be just waiting on Johnny. There's not much we can do.
All right. Well, we're gonna pause there as that just took a weird turn.
Well, we're never going to see you again. Just send us a message of the information so we can complete the mission and leave you there.
Yeah.
Just fucking copy whatever is on your pad to Texas, and it'll be good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, isn't this kind of like when Carillion, walked up to the
The mind flare.
my player?
I guess we'll find out.
Uh-huh.
And I
And then
watched
you
him
aggressively died.
Yeah, he did.
You aggressively got your brain sucked out.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yep. All right. So we'll pause on that one for now. Meanwhile, back in the construction yard as Lexi and Evil finally hit the netting, and are in basically you have something to hold on to and potentially kick off of. It's basically like chicken wire. And Jace is continually spinning, now spinning the other direction, and now the line is completely unwrapped and beginning to wrap itself the other direction like a tetherball.
Okay, so I'll start. Go ahead and now that I'm take one more shot to try to arrest, so I'm not constantly spinning.
Okay. Yeah. You can do that for the most part. You're not perfectly not spinning, but you're not spinning very quickly, like very slowly.
Okay, so that's another shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I'm going to just slowly start pulling myself in, not too fast because I don't want to, go shooting off,
Mm-hmm.
and just start going back towards the robot.
Okay. Easy enough to do. You slowly sort of climb down the rope to the arm.
Okay.
All right. Lexi, Evil, what are you doing? You got another. You actually have a decent shot straight out at the command center.
How far is?
Oh, the distance isn't great, but you actually have like a relatively clear shot. There's no real scaffolding or anything else in the way.
Lexi will just take the easy way there.
Okay, you can climb along the chicken wire if you want to. This thing is sort of attached to that at the outside.
I will do that.
All right, Evil, what do you want to do?
I guess I should shoot my gun in the opposite direction so that I can stop my movement.
Oh, you're stopped. You're on chicken wire on the
Oh, I
outside.
am? I thought that was still moving through there. Okay.
No. You guys are both sort of on this sort of chicken wire cage that's around the construction area, keeping all the various floating tools and pieces
Gotcha.
of metal and stuff all contained in one space.
So,
And Lexi is now climbing along the chicken wire, essentially, towards what looks like a command room,
okay.
which is
I guess
where
I'm
you're
going to
gonna
follow
start.
her.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say 5 break or something, but I really got to pee, so I'm going to go. I'll be right back.
All right. And we'll be right back after no messages.
Okay.
Well, that was a quick.
So back to the construction people. Yeah, well, the bathroom's not too far away, thankfully. Back to construction people, though. I will say over the next 10 minutes or so, you can slowly drag yourself over to the command room while Jace climbs around the bot. Yeah. So command room people, I guess. You get up to what is essentially a small. I mean, it's not like it's like it's the size of maybe like a 3x2 grid of porta-johns. It's really small, but it has a small door to the side, and you can knock on it or open it if you want.
Yeah, Lexi will give it a knock.
Okay. A few seconds goes by, and this older gentleman, probably in his mid 50s, maybe into early 60s, opens the door and looks at you. Is that my delivery?
She'll raise the box and nod.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be bigger. Hang on. He sort of grabs the box and cuts it open and looks down and goes, God damn it, a controller. Yeah, I can. Fucking great. Fucking great. Now I can control up to 10 drones. If only I had more than 3 work. Fuck. And then he looks out over the window and sees Jace kind of doing what Jace does. I don't know if what you're doing at the moment on said drone.
Well, right now I'd probably trying to be using signal strength to find out which one is the one that's closest to me. I can take it over.
The one that you're on is probably the one that's closest to you.
No, I meant signal strength is in like what the Wi-Fi signals.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, give me programming. Wisdom. Okay. You can eventually find the right one. It's not actually the closest, but you eventually notice that there are individual signals being sent out and signals being received, and they're actually on 2 different frequencies. The sent out signals returning to whatever command center is one frequency, and the secondary signal receiving is a totally different one, which sort of explains why it was difficult to figure out what the heck you were doing.
Okay. So then I will arrest one of the robots that are nearby to escort me over to where we're dropping off the package.
So you're trying to give it directions to go
To
back.
pick me up, basically,
Okay.
or get close enough so I can grab onto it, then continue on to where we drop the.
Okay. It is a secured system. You know what one it's on, so I'm gonna give me programming with intelligence, and we'll see.
I'm loving those fours.
Yeah, unfortunately, you see it stop. It just stops moving. So you sent some kind of signal through to it. You're not exactly sure what language these ones are, speaking to each other or anything. You're like, let's try this, and it does stop. And meanwhile, the older individual that Evil and Lexi are talking to. God damn it! Wait, is she with you? Pointing at Jace.
Da.
Did she just break one of my bots? Because it ain't moving.
What
And
do I
it's
look like,
supposed to be
mate?
moving.
I don't know. She fixed or something. Pay up credit.
That's by the company. I'll tell them that you did the job. That being said, if she better get that thing moving. Like now. I need this stuff moving now. We're already way behind schedule.
Lexi's just gonna shrug and just go off. She's not even gonna answer. She's just gonna go off, head back to the door.
All right.
I stayed outside the door.
Yeah, but you still hear all this, so.
Yeah, I have no input. I'm just gonna kind of. Oh, I could call over to Jace with my compad though.
Yep, you could.
Can you? Hey Jace, can you put back that drone together?
Yeah. 1 minute.
And there was that pile of junk ones rather than a working one. Maybe you can grab some of those junk ones and take them with us, but be sneaky.
Wait, you mean I can't have one that's flying around?
It's going to be noticeable. Somebody noticed you, so just put it back together real quick. Then they won't think much of it.
Okay.
We don't want to anger them.
But I don't have to build this one. I can just change it.
But you know how to build it now. You can make one better with multiple parts.
More arms?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so
They
then
already
I'll
have 4.
It's not enough.
Just pointing that out.
Okay, so I'll just tell it to I'll send a reverse signal to see if that changes the
Okay.
command that I
It doesn't, but you sort of end the signal in general to it for a second doing that, and it seems to reestablish its connection. You essentially blocked the wireless connection to its controller, and that got it to just stop. And then when you essentially stopped that for a second while you set in the new reverse code or whatever, it started up, and then you blocked it again by sending the reverse code. So you figure if you just stop messing with it, it'll probably just go back to whatever the hell it was doing.
Okay, so I'll just stop the
Okay.
signal, turn off
Yep.
basically the project Wi-Fi.
Yep,
And
and after a second or two, it starts back up and continues along, humming along like nothing had ever happened.
Okay.
And as that happens, the older individual looks back at you, Evil, and says, "You fixed well. Your friend there fixed it. Okay. I got 6 more over there. If you're fixers, I got my own budget. I'll pay you 500 credits each for every one that you can fix."
Oh. Well, if you say that, hey Jace, go over to that pile and see if you can fix those others. We'll get some money. I don't think you can keep them. Oh, sir, is there any, by chance, some parts that you want to let go and let my doctor here take them with him? Her?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Some of those are pretty busted up, and some of them just have some minor damage. But you're probably gonna need to take one of those things apart to fix the other ones. Maybe 2. I don't know. But if you can get if you can get 4 more running, you can have what. Well, yeah, if you can get all 5 running and just only have to cannibalize one, you can have that one. I ain't
All
gonna
right.
be able to use it, but I need these running, or else, like I said, I'm so far behind schedule. Do that, you'd be doing me a solid, and I'm happy to pay.
All right, I'll talk to my crew member and see what she thinks of the situation. And then I'm
Alright.
going to pull out my compad and call up Jace. Hey, Jace, do you think you can fix them? And, they said we can keep one if you can fix 5 of them, but, see what you can do. We can get 500 credits for each of us for each robot that we fix.
Not each of you. 500 credits total. Robot.
That was how I understood it.
No. It's every
robot.
robot that you get going, you get 500 credits.
Okay.
So if you can somehow manage to fix all 6, it's 3,000 credits.
I get to keep what I don't use to repair the other.
Yeah.
I want enough so I can make at least half of one of those robots. I can make it smaller.
Yet,
See,
just say one is broken. Lie.
Very good, very good, very good. I like it. Okay,
So
so tell him I can only guarantee maybe 3 or 4.
well, you have to get over there and touch him first.
But
You have to make it believable.
It's
First, you
more
have to get their
believable,
consent.
you're right. Okay, tell him to have one of the robots take me over there, so I can. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna come back inside from the corner of talking to Jace and like, sir, my partner here would like to know if one of your drones can carry her over to the pile so that she doesn't get all thrown about in the no gravity.
Yeah, I think I can do that. Hold on 1 minute. And he goes over to a drone or to this large control board. Very analog, very buttony, with some sort of older tech on it. But essentially begins steering one of the drones, and it comes over, just grabs you right out of space, Jason, and carries you over to the drones, and sort of gently, nudges you towards the drones themselves. Once it gets relatively close.
Okay. Meanwhile, that's happening. I'm using my data slab to do packet sniffs and trace, so I can get the language that the robots are using.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say you can get it in an uncompressed form. You're gonna have you'll need to actually sit down and see how it all works, but you have the data on the slab.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Okay. All right. So you are now surrounded by 6 broken down drones. Some of them are kind of more fun than the other ones.
Okay, so I'll use my IT/health abilities here to do basically like a quick triage and figure out those good, bad. I need to use that part, that one over there, and so I can get a rough estimate of what I need.
Define IT/health.
Health, as in triage is a health term, and IT is knowing. Okay, well that part's missing several fingers, or
Right.
that.
I understand what
yeah.
that is. What I'm saying is this is a fix check.
Okay.
This is not a heal check or
No,
anything.
I'm using that as an example.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, going through and trying to figure out what's going on. Let's go with in this case, actually, let's go with notice and
Note.
this is you noticing what is wrong and knowing how to fix and maybe where the stuff can come from.
All right. Enter wisdom.
Int. Yep. Int and notice.
Roger that.
Okay. You realize that 2 of them are relatively simple fixes. There's some minor electrical wire damage. They could probably be gotten up and running with some splice wires and some sort of jimmying stuff around. Not altogether too crazy. One of them, one of the arms hydraulics is overloaded and completely shot, and seems to have caused some kind of feedback into, or the hydraulic fluid has sort of filled part of the interior. So it kind of needs to just get opened up and get all that hydraulic, and then replace that hydraulic cylinder and system. Another one definitely looks like it had some kind of collision, and the entire front sensor panel that runs this thing is just gone. The 5th is actually an engine problem. The drone is actually active and trying to work, but none of its RCS thrusters are running for some reason. You're not sure if it's just out of gas or if it, like out of fuel, or if it's something directly with a controller or with the actual nozzles or something. But it's definitely an RCS system problem. The last one was actually really easy to diagnose. It currently has an I-beam through about half of it, just basically sticking out of it like a spear.
Okay, so I'll come back to the captain. Captain, there's 2 that are complete write-offs. I can use them for parts. The others I should be able to get up and running.
All right. I guess go ahead and get those 4 running then.
Okay, so give me a little bit.
Okay.
So I plan to take off the one that has the I-beam through it. I can
Okay.
get the servos from there to get one of those fully functional. The thruster pack one, if it's still trying to use it, my first indication would be a board issue if it's not fluid, fuel, whatnot. So yeah, you can see. Yeah, I should be able to take most of them. The one that has the I-beam through it, I should probably get all the parts I need from that one. The one that has the sensor pack, that one's going to be the interest. That's the one I'll probably claim as completely destroyed. Other than the I.
Okay.
Okay, so you want me to do fix this time?
We'll say for the purposes of, like, each fix is probably, like, the 2 minor fixes are probably gonna be a half an hour
Okay.
each. So let's start with the wires, the 2 easier ones, and I want 2 fix checks. Considering you're in 0G, and these are relatively easy. This isn't going to be intelligence. This is going to be dexterity. This is just, let's get this done. They're finicky wires in 0G.
Okay. And you want me to do 2 of these?
Yep, 1 for each.
1.
Damn. Nice.
And that's the other.
Okay. Yeah, about an hour goes by and you manage to get the first one up and running, and it begins attempting to connect to the controller. And you move on to the second one, pop open some panels and start attaching wires and things. It's not too incredibly difficult on this for these ones, but after about an hour, they're both up running and begin joining the other ones in the fleet. You have 4 left. Which one do you want to do next?
The thruster pack. That one will
RCS?
either, yeah, it's either going to
Okay.
be the fuel or it's going to be the board.
Okay. For this case, give me fix plus int. This is a harder DC. This is diagnose, figure it out. 10. This is going to take you about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So meanwhile, Lexi and Evil, you got 2 hours to kill while you're hanging out here. I don't know what you're doing.
Captain, why don't I take the one that we want back to ship?
If that's what you want to do, I think I'm just going to stay here with Jace and keep her safe.
Okay, have fun.
You head over, and I will assume you've already sort of stripped off, or you're stripping off parts as you go. So you'd want to wait until Jace at least starts on the last one to make sure. But yeah. And all right. Yeah, so about an hour and a half goes by and you realize it's not so much a board. It's not so much the thrusters themselves. It's actually the tank. The RCS tank itself had definitely sprung a leak. There was nothing in said centralized RCS tank at all. So it was just trying to move and do stuff, but couldn't. So you managed to get that patched up, sort of tested, and put some of the RCS fuel from one of the other ones into it. And it also slowly begins to rejoin its brethren in fixing stuff up.
Okay, so the last one is the hydraulic, right? Or is
Yep. Now, out of curiosity, you're pulling from which unit to fix these?
the one that has the I-beam is what I'm pulling
Okay.
everything I can from.
Okay.
Because I want the one that has the sensor module missing. That's the one.
All right.
Because then I just need that. So I'll open up one of the largest panel I can, and then try to get as much of that
Hydraulic fluid out.
hydraulic fluid out.
Okay. You do that, and you that part's relatively easy. You just open the panel and the stuff sort of there's a lot of surface tension, but in there, but you can kind of slowly start pulling it out. Give me this will be fix. Yeah, another fix plus int for this one. Okay. You start working on it. This is going to take you another 2 hours. This is slow going. It's a complex hydraulic system, and actually pulling all the fluid out of the internals is not an easy task. It's just slow, and you got to be deliberate about it. But eventually, just you barely get it going. You notice that arm is certainly still weaker than the typical ones. It's definitely not quite as powerful, but it will go and slowly rejoin in its group. You have two there. The one with the I-beam through part of its internals, and the one with the broken sensor suite at the front.
Okay, I'll tell Lexi that both those are scrap that we need to take with.
As you do, the older gentleman who you never get says, "Hey, I said if you could fix 5, you could have whatever's left. You only fixed 4."
Well, you said that they're pretty much useless to you when they're broken, right? And my doctor here says that they're completely not fixable, so she did get 4 of them completely fixed for you, or is
Not
in the
completely
process.
fixed, but
In the process.
well, that one's got a bum arm still, but it's better than nothing. I ain't saying that you haven't been helpful. I'm saying the deal was 5 and you can have the leftover. If I don't got 5 running, then I can still take this these two to a tech, and maybe they can put something together. But
But
I'm no tech. I'm a
is it worth
programmer.
your time to have to be bothered with traveling and your money? Just imagine how much money you'd have to pay to get these things fixed. It would probably be what, twice, 3 times the amount you
pay
paid
about
us?
2,000 credits. You're right. But those things right there are worth 50,000 each. So it's worth my time, and the company's paying for it, not me.
Well, is there any way I can convince you that we have done a fair duty to you with fixing these and saving you thousands of credits?
Sure. If you want one, you can have one, but I ain't paying you.
Well, if you're not paying us, then we're taking both.
You sure about that?
You told us that we would be getting 500 credits each for the ones that
Mhm.
we fixed,
Mm-hmm.
and we have fixed 4, so that is
Yep.
2,000 credits.
Yep. These things are worth 50,000 each. If you want one, even broken down, it's worth way more than 2,000 credits. So you did the work. I'll give you one of them. You get 5 working. I'll give you the 500 credits each, and I'll give you whatever's left over. Because at that point, I can't use it. I can't take parts from one and put it in the other. That's why I was going to give you the leftover. Because that last one isn't worth anything to me, really. But right now I got 2. And I bet you with a properly trained tech, they could take the parts from one and put them in the other. Or at least it'd be a lot easier to do that. Because then I'd only have to order maybe a couple of 100 credits worth of parts.
I would imagine it would be probably more than a couple of 100 credits.
Can I hear any of this?
Unless she has her comm mic'd up, probably not.
Yeah, I have it on.
Then yeah.
Captain, ask if he has any parts available.
Do you happen to have any spare parts available? Maybe she can get that last one up and running and we can all be happy.
Yeah, I do. She's already got them all right there. Those are my spare parts right now.
Mm.
Well, without a controller, I can't fix this other one.
She
A
needs a
controller?
controller. Yeah.
What kind of controller?
A nav controller.
A nav controller? Does that happen to be what we just delivered to you, sir? Wasn't it a controller?
It's a drone controller
Mhm.
meant to control them within the space. But that's something that's actually done. That's something that hooks up to the control panel there. Like that's not a drone part necessarily. That's actually the control part that goes into the control panel. I don't know how drone controller is going to help you. If you're looking for like a positioning system piece, that's different. I'm sure one of them has it.
There's an I-beam through the other one. Oh, nope.
Yeah, it's going through the middle, but from what I can see, most of the front end electronics haven't been hit. It just nailed probably that whole center core. You know, the generator and all that.
Sounds like pricey parts to me.
Mm-hmm. But that other one's just missing a sensor suite from what I can tell. I ain't no tech, but I can see that there's a sensor suite on the one with the I-beam through. Bet you could get it running. I don't like people pulling my leg.
I can't guarantee my work because this was the I-beam hit. It may have put a surge through the device, so it may not work.
That's fair.
Okay, I'll see if I can swap the piece.
Okay. Fixing it. You begin swapping the piece. At this point, yeah, it's gonna up your time. You start working another 2 hours, and your vac suit's starting to run a little low on O2 for all y'all. that
Oh
are
hell
still
no,
here.
no! If it takes this long, Lexi's out of here. Like by now, like she would have
Yeah,
fallen asleep.
I kind of
somewhere.
figured.
She's hit the bar or something by now.
Okay, so Lexi fucked off. Um, yeah. Your O2 is starting to run low. And you begin switching out said sensor suite, and there are just so many cables, so many data lines. It's incredibly slow going, and you attempt to power it on, and at that point, there's a surge of power which does seem to kind of, you can see a couple little electrical scorch marks that have now appeared in some of the finer points of technology.
I'll come
Basically,
over.
you fried it like a bit
Yeah.
of a chicken.
I'll come over. See, it was not optimal. They're both junk.
All right, well, I guess they're going to have to get shipped back to be either replaced or fixed. Thanks for your help anyway. I can give you two grand, but a deal's a deal in either direction. He hands you a small little stick, basically kind of like a USB drive. You'd know it as a cred stick, and it does appear to be holding 2,000 credits.
All right. Thanks for that.
DC was 9 on that. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, it happens. Well, you never know. I mean, now you know where there are 2 quasi junk construction bots, and dude's got to sleep eventually. Do what you will.
Yeah, go ahead. Encourage it.
Mhm.
Alternatively, you could have just given him a rain check and got your actual qualified mechanic that you have on the team.
Mm-hmm. Could have.
Yeah, that would have been too easy.
But yeah, at this point, you guys sort of gather up your stuff and head back 2,000 credits richer, which is equivalent. Think of it like $2,000 worth of actual money to here in the real world. That's about
I
how
think
worth it
credits
is.
are a bit more than just $1 each, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but I tend to go relatively analogous.
It's like $90s dollar, where a dollar actually bought stuff versus
Yeah,
2000s
exactly.
plus
Yeah, I was
dollar.
going to say, I think
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, a dollar.
I would say a
That
credit's
was
like
5
$5.
cookies.
So
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. It's a credit's worth quite a bit. But yeah,
Point being,
yeah, you
all
eventually
right.
head out. Meanwhile, back at the ship, the Cobalt Shark ship, there. I think we're gonna have to close up here because it's almost 10.
All right.
But Leaf and Oswald, I'm guessing you plant that data shunt
Yep.
or line shunt. Do you manage to
I'm
plant the line
keeping
shunt?
guard.
Leaf's keeping guard. Tex, you book it out as fast as you can.
Yeah,
Thankfully, the
I
other
grabbed my
guy,
stuff and fucked off.
yeah, the other guy managed to hold up those 2 maintenance guys long enough that you could grab your stuff quickly, sort of ditch the coveralls and book it out. You just kind of timed it with when everybody sort of turned away from the door and slipped out the unpowered door.
I guess you could say it's not my first time getting out of Dodge.
Oh God. However, Girani,
Mm-hmm.
as you enter into the ship, this larger individual sort of walks in, says, walks behind you as you step up, and you see that this younger girl is sort of tossed into one of the rooms, and the door's locked there. He looks at you and goes, "We got a proper ransom this time. 1,000,000 credits, no doubt. Been waiting for you. We needed somebody to make that contest."
Well, apologies. I've been out on some other jobs recently. Got to do something to keep the cover. Anyways, tell me what I have to bring back to Verana the Hammerhead.
Well, this isn't strictly for the Hammerhead.
Is there somewhere to sit down?
Yeah, there's a few chairs around a
I'll
table.
just go sit in the chair and kind of cross my legs and just wait for him to continue.
So there's well, there's a few other people that make some good money. and we're making a bit of money. See, there's a guy here, right? And he sells the best new, shall we call it, recreational substance. Now we gotta buy it from him. And well, price is that one in the back room. So what we need is for you to make contact with little baby's daddy, get the money, we pay the money to this other guy, and we got the drugs. Now those drugs are gonna go for a lot more. So it's good that you showed up. We were waiting.
Well, kind of
Because
wish you'd sent me
Mako,
a little feeler earlier. Station
well,
manager has been looking for you.
yeah, that's what happens when you take his kid. I'm not surprised. Anyway, Mako said he was sending somebody out. Glad you showed up. And I think that's where we're going to end for now, where Kai has managed to thoroughly integrate himself into a gang's crazy plan to get money.
Jackpot.
Meanwhile, I'm just
Not too bad
screaming
of a
in my
plan.
head, this is not the job I was sent out here for.
Nope. And you would notice that it's a different. There are a few underbosses, and this seems to be one of the other underbosses that has organized this. You would
Just
recognize
remember,
the name
you
Mako.
have a fucking what do you got? Leaf. What's your thing? Plasma cannon, thunder gun. What's your deal?
Combat rifle.
Remember, you got a combat
Grenades.
rifle outside. Really, just a combat rifle?
Yeah.
They
That's what I could
get hit hard
afford.
enough.
Not Lexi.
Yeah.
So as soon as we get some money, I am planning on upgrading.
Boy.
I don't have a gun.
Yeah, you need a gun and a compact.
Why didn't you say something? Could have given you
Well,
my
you might-
semi-auto.
You might hate me because I'm
Yeah.
sitting on like 700 credits.
Okay.
Oh, dude, Texas been like just eating up all the money that you've been given. Just like, yeah, this kid's all right.
And don't worry, he knows kind of what he's doing with
I hope. I hope Kai knows what you're on his. Okay.
Oh, nice. I like it.
But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Remember, you have a assault rifle and semi-auto pistol outside if you need them, aimed at the door.
Well, it's if anything does go down, I'm probably gonna be dead because man with long gun probably make one of Mako's sub enforcers. And I've only got a laser pistol.
Wow. So I'm basically the only one with any sort of hardware here.
Yeah.
At the
No,
ship right now, yes. Tex has
Texas
some, but he
off.
fucked. Yeah, but I fucked
Mm.
off because the maintenance guys were around.
Well, in this
All right.
startling turn of events, guess we'll catch everybody later.
I honestly didn't think you guys were gonna go for this particular job, so I'm super happy you did.
As a note, I can use a pistol, so if you want to give me your semi-auto, I'll take it. But
Yeah.
I just, you got a spare? He says as he just looks over at your combat gun.
Hey, hands him. Reaches
Yes.
into his holster, hands him the semi-auto.
It's like
Yeah,
a
this'll do.
Derringer.
I'm just imagining these two, the fucking massive bloke and the little engineer, just kind of both sitting backs to a crate, waiting for some commotion to go on.
You got a quarterback
Yep.
looking dude and a linebacker looking dude, and then you got the water boy.
Who knows? You might get lucky, and I might kill this character for you too.
Oof,
Oh fuck! I love it.
that's fucked up. But
I mean, I've been next to all his other character deaths, so I got to be involved somehow.
Fair.
we will hopefully catch us again next week. I think I've worked out a schedule, and everything should work out. I should be able to stream again next Saturday. So we will catch you all later. And why are you still watching? Why?
Wow.
Everybody stay inside. Don't go out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't,
stay
just
inside.
like
Be safe,
unless
y'all.
you need to
No.
get medicine for your
Join us
dying
for
family member.
lockdown Saturday nights. where
Hey,
we
if you're
play
stupid enough to
stupid
go out,
D&D
you get
games.
what you get.
It's a good way to wait.